Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Facts and Glitches. Today has some very interesting glitches to take a look at, so let's just jump right in. For our first glitch, there is a spot on the first beach in Return to Planet X where you can see out of bounds. In this level, there are two weapon parts that you can pick up to build a homing launcher. However, if you pick up just one of the parts, get to the checkpoint and restart from the checkpoint, then walk all the way back to the second beach, the weapon part in your inventory will be floating outside the map. Here is also a clip of the same effect with the other weapon part. If you restart from the checkpoint in Atom Smasher, the previous bomb timers will start counting down again. Something else to note about the bombs is the control panel on them is really just a calculator without the adding or dividing functions. Something else to note is that these bombs have a button on it that appears to say null, which is usually associated with the value of 0. If you make your way back to the beginning door in Atom Smasher after restarting from the checkpoint as well, the door will be locked now. The first whiskey barrel in Chicago floats ever so slightly above the ground. While more fun than a fact or a glitch, the fans in Chicago have hitboxes so you can stick TNT to them and watch it spin in circles. If you shoot Marco before you start escorting him, he won't cower, but no matter how long you wait between shooting him and beginning the escort, he will immediately cower as soon as you start it. By having a player stand at the corner below the staircase and having the other player above them be shot while on the edge, you will be clipped out of bounds and will be able to reach the nightclub earlier than intended. You can use this to spawn Tony much earlier than you're supposed to. However, if you get stuck on any of the AI that usually spawn in this area, you will be unable to move because the enemies are not loaded in properly. Restarting from the checkpoint before rendezvousing with Marco will cause Tony's boss room to break the game in two ways. The first of which is the game will just freeze and become unresponsive. The second effect is sometimes the objective to rendezvous with your informant will be marked as complete, even though you are nowhere near Marco and he is also despawned at this moment. If you activate a cutscene in a level while you are dead, the game will allow you to move around as if you are alive, but you are still dead as far as the game is concerned. This is widely known as the Undead glitch. If a player is in the Undead state, I will make sure to mark it on screen, that way you don't have to wonder about which one is which. The first case in which you can do the Undead glitch is in Chicago, with the phone booths. While undead, some triggers for objectives and enemies won't work. For example, Tony's car will not spawn for an undead player, however Marco will start walking for an undead player. Undead players also die instantly from fall damage from any height. Here's another example of some strange behavior caused by being an undead. You can see here that Marco walks normally back into the hideout when an alive player walks into his room. When the undead player walks up, Marco does not retreat until you pick up the key card, and he never actually says any voice lines. Due to the shorter hitbox, the undead player is also unable to interact with many objects as they can't hit the trigger window. Here's the second case in which you can do the undead glitch. It is in Notre Dame with the ropes that pull down the maidens. Note that unlike the Chicago undead glitch, you can only trigger the rope cutscene once, so you need to make sure to time it so that you enter the cutscene right as you're dying. Here's another example of a trigger that does not work for an undead player, but does work for an alive player. Here we can see the alive player is triggering the start of the cropped light boss fight, while the undead player is preventing the bottom level door from closing, allowing you to fight the cropped light boss on the church floor, although he does exhibit some strange behavior if you do it in this manner. You can also use this glitch to set the cropped light boss on fire. It takes a very long time to kill him, about 5 minutes, and he always just runs into a wall in a corner and is always stuck. Here we can see the undead player is unable to complete the objective, make your way to the roof to escape Notre Dame. Here we can see the execution of the undead glitch in a robot factory. Again, like Notre Dame, you can only do this cutscene once, so you have to get it the first try. You can use the undead glitch in Robot Factory to prevent the door that would normally stop you from going backwards in the level from closing when you start the boss fight. There isn't really anything strange that happens that I've noticed when I explored behind here, but if you do find anything, please let me know in my Discord. If you do this glitch though, you must keep one player at the door at all times. You also need to make sure that the alive player is the one inside the room and keeping the door from closing, because if the undead player is inside, they are unable to complete the objective for getting the time crystal, and so you will softlock the level if just the undead player is inside.